So my name is Shivam. I am part of Simplilearn for almost 4 years now. So have been associated with this space pre-COVID and during COVID and now also. So I'll be talking a bit about that. Uh, Thank you, team, for inviting me. So I'll just get quickly started. But before I get started, I'll have one question for all of you. How many of you have taken any course, be it any platform, any upskilling you have done in past 1 year? Okay, I can see few hands. Okay, and out of these folks, how many have been able to actually complete the course? Okay, roughly around 30, 40%. Okay, great. I'll bring back this data point when we move forward. Okay, yeah. So to start with, what I'll do is I'll give a quick overview of the industry. So we all know EdTech is not new in the world. EdTech has been with us for long. The time of Stanford and all, online learning, PDF learning has been there. In India, EdTech initially was just B2B. You must have heard of the company EduComp in 2010, 11, school education and all, EduComp is still there. But what has happened was in last 2010 to maybe 2018, 19, it was just a nursing baby. No one was much recognizing. The funding was not happening that much great, but COVID brought a change. Okay. So what's there you see from 254 billion as we speak, it's ready to explode to 3.5 times by 2027. That's what the stats say. If COVID was not there, a 2019 study told this would have been around 300 billion. So half of it, right? So that's what we see the surge. Right? And when we talk about this whole segment, it actually caters to the whole customer life cycle. Right, the day you are born, not the day you are born actually, you are 2.5 years, your preschooling starts. Right from there to your schooling, the K-12 segment I'm referring to. Then you basically go for higher education, you give competitive exams, IITs and all, and then you keep upskilling yourself, right? So this is your whole life cycle. And then there are vocational trainings, right? Even if you're retired, you want to do a vocational training. So the TAM, the total addressable market, is huge. So this whole sector is huge and each segment in itself is big. This is more from a customer journey perspective. And then there is a hardware market, there is a software market, but the market is huge and each has its own big total addressable market, right? This boost has happened. Now this boost has also changed few things for us. What has changed? First of all, the customer behavior and the perception has changed. Before COVID, we were still reluctant. Online learning, okay, I will not get that kind of, it was not there. They had high rate. So the industry has recognized it, has started recognizing online degree. So that's a change what is happening. With this change, there comes an additional pressure. And I'll talk about it. What has happened is, unlike any other industry, food delivery startup, e-commerce startup, where technology and automation can bring customer delight, here bringing customer delight is not that straightforward. It's not only automation, it's not only technology. I run a class with a Zoom. It doesn't make, it's like a meeting conference. How many times we are very active in our meeting conference, right? If it's a listening meeting, we just listen. We have to break that barrier. Bringing engagement to class, breaking that barrier, making sure that we have the in-class experience, the physical class experience replicated to the maximum extent virtually is the challenge that we are dealing with. So that's what you see on the left side and the right side. The whole world has changed and it's moving towards bootcamp. You see edX of the world's self-paced learning, even YouTube for that matter, right? You go to YouTube, you learn, right? Again, now I'll come back to that question. How many of us complete that, right? There is a lot of content, unstructured content, and that's where we lose interest, we lose pace, we achieve the intended outcome maybe midway, or we don't achieve, but we give up because we are working professionals, we move forward, right? This was the problem with self-paced learning. The completion rates were as low as 2 to 5%. This is an industry research done. It's a fact. We'll be surprised it's 2 to 5%, right? And since it's more reactive, I find an issue with the content, I reach out, I get it. So it's more of a reactive experience. How the world has changed is to boot camps. Boot camps even for a 5-year-old kid. I'm not sure how many of you experienced that how Baiju runs classes, right? It's a hybrid model. The whole world is moving to bootcamp, be it any segment. And that's what we are also doing. Bootcamp is nothing. The self-paced learning will just be a complementary learning, a pre-read or to reinforce your learning. While bootcamp will just emphasize on hands-on. That's where we try to build a lot of interactivity here. And across this problem space, we focus on 4 things. We focus on interactivity, which is engagement, and I'll be speaking about that more. Experience, completion, and outcomes. For us, this whole problem space is interconnected. When I say interconnected, we strongly believe, and this is proven with data, a deeply engaged learner with an immersive experience will complete the intended and achieve the desired outcome, right? An outcome can be, I want a job. I want a job. I'm a fresher. An outcome can be, I want a salary hike. I want a promotion. I'll upskill for that, right? So our outcomes vary. But these 3 things, if we deliver well, the learner gets the outcome. As I said, for a food delivery startup like Zomato, right? Your food gets delivered instantly. You have that aha moment and you give a good feedback rating, you're done. Our customer life cycle is big. Measuring this consistently and delivering consistently on this is not easy. Learners spend 6 months to 1 year in the system, and we make sure that they achieve the intended outcome. Let me just focus on the first one, a deeply engaged learner, and what are the problems that we face when we actually work in this space. Now, engagement, one kind of engagement is defined, how much is my session time, very tactical, right? How much time I'm spending on the platform and all. But how do we measure that engagement as quality engagement, right? Is the actual learning happening? Is the learner actually understanding the skills? Is the learner actually being able to bridge that skill gap? Drive interactions virtually, quite difficult, right? That's what I was emphasizing on. It becomes really difficult for us to drive interactions virtually, but we have experimented, we have solutioned, and I'll be walking you through few of the experiments that we did. Taking an analogy, when we were in our school or in our graduation, right, how we used to learn. I'm stuck with my Viva, I'm stuck with my project, right? I used to go to my friend, boss, I'm not able to do this here, can you help me? Peer engagement. Going to our faculty, having those tuitions, we used to say tuitions, right? We used to pay extra, we don't pay extra here, but we go to have those tuitions, get the additional learning from the trainer. What we are doing is we are just simply replicating your in-class experience to virtually. So this peer engagement is engagement with your peers. You see one example, right? In our community, one user is asking a question and the other user is coming from the same cohort and helping them. They're going to the trainer, doing some mentoring. Now the peer engagement, if you ask us, from a stack rank perspective, social learning peer engagement is the most important point to drive a healthy engagement and interaction. Multi-channel approach. Now you are learning, it's quite straightforward actually. You are learning, now you're traveling in a train or a flight, you don't want to watch a movie on Netflix, you want to just continue your learning. We give the exactly same experience on the mobile app or on your web mobile so that continues, which was not earlier. Now we have started driving that as well. Personalized nudges is more like, hey, you will be left behind the race. You are lagging behind your cohort, right? Giving those kind of FOMO messages, right? That's what really works out for us. Now, we also give the flexibility to the learner if they can learn around varied learning formats. We just care about the outcome. You submit the project on time. That's what we care. You do it through video. You do it through flashcards. You do it through live virtual class. We don't care because these are working professionals. That's what we deliver, and we have seen engagement. Gamification is very important to understand, right? See, we are in a segment whose target segment are you guys, right? The working professional. Now, you guys are already juggling between your personal and professional life. We ask time over a weekend for some classes and all. That's another direction. But what I would like to emphasize on is that the kind of gamification that we do with our target persona is quite different from what you will do with a K-12 kid, right? What used to happen, again, taking an analogy, what used to happen with us in school? Our teacher used to give a tick. When she used to give a star, we used to be very happy. Oh, we have got a star. Go back to our parents and celebrate, right? It doesn't happen with our persona. What we do is simply we are running some experiments with leaderboard, right? Okay, like what the host was doing some time back, right? Creating a sense of urgency that you need to achieve, you need to be somewhere in that leaderboard. It works out really well. And with all these experiments, what we have been able to do is we have been able to achieve average quality learning hours per learner per program as 150 hours a learner giving in a span of 3 to 6 months is quite good for us. Talking about experience, there are two major problems as I spoke about on experience. One is, unlike the food delivery app and all, the customer journey is long. Now, I might get a good experience in today's session, but in my next week's sessions, I'm not getting a good experience. How do I make sure that experience is consistent? How do I make sure that if it drops, what are the proactive and reactive steps we are taking? So we do some kind of coding against each learner. So we call it green, amber, red. Learners keep on fluctuating between these who show that kind of. There are learners who stays at the top, and there are learners who just stay in the bottom also. What we do is, both from platform angle and from the offline reach out perspective, we closely monitor these learners so that the experience is consistent. And right now, we are capturing experience across 14 touch points. That's big. That's too much for the learner as well. But unless a touch point experience goes stabilized, we don't stop capturing that. We continue capturing that. The second problem that is there is content is everywhere. Now you are learning, right? I'll just take one example. You are doing a Java full stack program and you want to revisit OOPS concepts, right? How can we make sure that you stay within our platform, you don't go out and you get distracted? So what we do is, the way we have built our learning management system is, you learn on our system. I think it's not visible, but what the tabs that you see are different learning components. You learn in our system, you practice in our system, there are integrated labs, and then you basically assess also in our system. So we make sure with the kind of SSO integration we have, the kind of platform that we have, that the learner doesn't go out. Again, we realize the problem statement and then we build a system which has shown considerable result. While across industry, the NPS number in EdTech is around 60 to 70 types, we have been consistently be able to deliver 80 plus NPS because of these two things. What you see on my left side is, this is the kind of experience we have eventually built. So earlier, we used to be on a third-party platform, which was just a video conferencing platform. Now what we do is, we run boot camps, and in boot camps, we basically, again, this is something which we have learned over time, and the whole EdTech is practicing this now. We enable the learners to turn on their videos, ask questions, raise hands, create breakout rooms, practice. Again, trying to mimic as much as possible the in-class experience. Right? Completion is a big problem, and I was just listening to one more panel discussion yesterday. The whole EdTech is actually struggling with this problem. The major problem with our persona is, as I said, our persona is super busy. Was they're doing their regular work, then we expect them to submit the project, turn up to classes, too much to expect. So we ran few experiments, and what we did was, we don't want attendance from you, we don't want anything related to you have to submit this by this time or something, or attend class. We said, you have a period of 40 to 45 days, learn at your own pace, go through live class recordings, we give them integrated recordings, and just submit the project on time. We have seen significant increase in completion. The second problem, and it's common across, right? Learners drop after first course. And I will walk you guys through that case study as well. We found that 55% of the learners are dropping off after completing first course, or they are just touching the first course and they are dropping off. Imagine a learner who is paying 1.5 lakh for a program and he is not turning up after first course. So we identified few reasons, and I'll briefly walk you through that case study. But this is a relevant problem across EdTech. It's a very big problem that we are trying to solve. Outcomes. When I say outcomes vary. As I said, there can be a soft outcome, how we define, or a hard outcome. Hard outcome is you get a job change, salary hike. Soft outcome is I just wanted to learn those skills, right? We separate these tangibles from intangible, and we also keep on playing around the outcome reward strategy. So with the platform that has integrated WebEngage with us, we keep on motivating learner. Hey, you are just, few steps away from achieving your milestone. This job opportunity is waiting for you. This company is waiting for you. Also, capturing the intended outcome when they start the journey. It's very important. Imagine I asking a user, hey, you are most welcome to our platform. What is your outcome that you're looking for? And then personalizing his or her journey as per the outcome. They really complete the program. We also found out that a user, and that was one of the question where the onboarding question, I basically observed that 40% of our users who were not onboarded well were never completing the program. We made some platform changes, interventions to make sure that they come and attend their induction class, and our completion rate started spiking. Few tweaks that we could do to drive a completion of 65+%. Which is, again, as I said, for a MOOC industry, the self-raised industry is 2 to 5%, and for our industry is 50+. We have been able to achieve 65%+, with 90%+ of folks of attending, of getting the outcomes. Have we solved all the problems? We haven't. We are still learning. We are solving. But yes, we are headed towards a world where we want to really achieve 90% completion rate and at least 95% outcome, with the whole journey getting completed. Yeah. There are, I also wanted to bring to this table the help that we are getting from WebEngage, and there are very obvious things that we know that WebEngage can do, but I really wanted to emphasize that what is the value that we got, or the numbers that moved with those very obvious things that we can do with WebEngage. The first one was, as I said, that 55% of our learners were dropping off after onboarding. We ran a quick survey, and we formed few hypotheses, and then we ran a quick survey, and we found out that 30% of these were not getting enough time to submit the project, and they were just giving up. And again, we could relate to the learner persona, right? How we used to behave when we were in class, right? I will do my course. I was honestly very bad at history. I used to just mug up things and do, but after one point in time, I gave up. I'll not be able to proceed, and that's it. That was happening for our learners. They said, boss, my class is getting completed, and then you are giving me 1 week to submit the project. Monday to Friday I have office. I want more understanding of the project. How will I do that? We ran a few experiments. That experiment is going on. Why not invite the learner to the class itself on the next weekend and let them do the project in the class, right? They will learn with peers and do it. We immediately saw a boost, and this is where the hypothesis got validated, and we are doing some solution experiment around that. The second one is, WebEngage has also helped us to save our engineering effort, right? There's an onboarding journey we implemented to make sure that the user understand that where do they have to reach out for help. What was happening was, emails were going to our CXOs, to our founders, on social media. Hey, I'm not getting enough support from Simplilearn. What is happening and all, right? These guys didn't know that where help and support option is in the platform. We just ran a quick experiment, and we said that, okay, you log into our learning management system, you'll see a journey. Here is your help. We immediately saw 75% reduction in escalations. They were just escalating that I'm not able to find the help, because they didn't know how to reach out to help. They are not dissatisfied learner. They are not like that. They are unhappy with the service. They didn't know where to reach out for help, right? So that's why WebEngage helped us. User behavior analytics is very obvious. We know these obvious things, but the value what we got, we use WebEngage for funnel analysis. Now, this use case is a two-edged sword. The user gets the option of changing the cohort, and a cohort is nothing but a set of learners running in a single class to complete, right? If we allow a lot of cohort change, my completion will get impacted. Like, learner gets relaxed. Okay, I have a cohort change option, I'll do it, right? But if we don't give them, and if they have lagged behind, they will never be able to complete. What was happening was, they were opening this wizard, and they were saying that 70% of the learners were dropping off after initiating. They click and they are just cancelling. We thought, what is happening? We have spent a significant time, like 2-3 months, in building this whole overall funnel. What was happening was, on the first screen, there was a scary message. Hey, there will be learning implications. 1, 2, 3, your learning progress will not be get translated. The messaging was wrong. We realized, right? We changed the messaging, the funnel improved. And funnel, we don't want 100% also do it. We want to play out, as I said, it's a two-edged sword. we were actually being able to show some improvement here. CSAT capture is very important. Now, this is a very classic use case. Why I brought this up is we all know, WebEngage or be it any tool can help us to capture the feedback. Labs for us is not in-house. We have integrated a partner in our platform. Now that's where we used to get challenged. We don't have control over that system. Events are not flowing into into our system from that. So how do we capture this feedback? Again, without an engineering effort, we were able to configure on a certain event which was already getting captured in our system, and we were able to fix this problem in not more than a couple of weeks. Few high-level case studies where WebEngage helped us solve this. I think we are done with time, and I'll quickly pause here and pause for any questions, thoughts. Let me just bring back to the summary slide so that the questions can be related.
Any questions, guys?
Yeah.
I have one. It's kind of a silly, but I thought I'll ask anyway. I won't say who. I think people might recognize who this person is. So he also has a course, right? So it reminded. I remind when I saw your presentation, I just thought of him. So I thought I'll ask this question to you. Maybe whether you have tried this or not, it might be silly, but I actually reached out to some of his students, and they were actually happy, right? They said they took up this course, they completed it 100% because of this reason. So I just thought I'll ask you this. So how he was promoting his course was, he priced it a little higher, right, to begin with, right? Slightly higher than the industry. Then what he said, with each step that you complete, you'll get so much, not cash back, an actual revenue itself back to your account. And when you complete the entire course, you will not only learn what you started, but let's say it was 25,000 was the course fee. I will give you back about 10,000 back, right? Forget about the cost aspects from his end, right? So I'm not talking about that. So the net amount that a student pays is 15K, which is less than the industry standard. He started with 25K, and slowly with each assignment that he gets, 2K gets credited to his account back, 2K, 1K, something like that, based on the assignment. And there are multiple assignments. So by the time he completes the course, he learns the course as well, plus he gets a 10K back. So eventually he ends up paying only 15K. It's a win-win for him, right? So I just wanted to check, what is your thought on this for course completion, to give an incentive to people?
Yeah. So monetizing is one way of incentivizing. See, we do have something called job guarantee program, right? So the way it works is that you complete the program, you go to the interview prep, all services we give, and if we are not able to place you in next 6 months, we will give you 100% refund. There is a segment for this. And you also have to understand that what is your target persona. See, if you are selling a university partnered program, right? I don't think motivation will be money for you. Motivation will be, can I get that university degree certificate, right? They can go share on LinkedIn, put on their resume and get a job. So I would say it all depends on program type to program type and your target persona. For a fresher, this strategy will work out really well, right? I have just graduated, right? And I don't have much money. I have already spent 5-6 lakhs on my engineering. Now I really want. So this strategy might work for that, but might not work for a person who is of 5 to 8 years experience and is looking for upskilling. It all depends. Yeah.
So a lot of your courses are a bit higher priced, right? And there are a lot of students or a lot of professionals who actually want to pursue a course, but they are not really sure which course to pursue. Just that their colleagues or their peers have pursued it, and they've been placed well. They want to take up that course. But once they start with the enrollment process and they start the whole course thing, they feel after the first hour or first class or so that, this is not for me. I can't do it. So is there a way that you can, give them a preview of what is to come in the course, or, just to let them know that this is what you will be learning, and, this is amount of time that you will be requiring, are you up for it? So something of that sort. So have you thought about that, or do you already have something like
Yeah,
that?
we do have. So it's all assisted sales. So basically, it's not like the seamless. It's not because this kind of SKU, the so ticket size is 1.5 2 lakhs. When we talk about it, cannot be a seamless purchase. It's an assisted sales. Our learning consultant or the sales agent actually educate them, set the expectation, and then they get another chance when they come to the onboarding welcome class. We give them full download that what is the grind you will be going through. So yes, we do that. So that's what I'm saying. The problem is when we did the survey, the problem is not that they don't know what they're getting into, but once they get into, they realize, boss, it's too hard. That's where we emphasize on onboarding. Yeah.
Okay, this might sound a little silly, but then you mentioned about one person who's, from a user perspective, that this guy is looking to learn something. The other person is looking to, get a degree from something. There's one person who's simply there for the certificate. He just wants that certificate to show somewhere and, add it into his resume. Now, do you actually take the time out to engage this person also? And do you also take your time off that, you send your campaigns or you send those personalized messages that you mentioned before to this person also who's just simply there, okay, I gave him a $3,000, now I want my certificate, that's it. So how do you, segregate that particular person, that user actually?
See, that's a good question. The thing is, have they achieved their intended outcome even mid journey, right? So that's where I have used the word intended, the intended outcome. Now, each program has a program level certificate which is towards the end, which they thrive to, right? But then there are individual milestones. I'll give you an example. I am done with data science with Python. I don't want to do data science with R. Okay, my outcome was that only. That's where we keep measuring their intent when they start the program with the survey, when they're in the mid of the program, when they are 80% complete. Have you achieved your intended outcome or not? If they have achieved, we don't force them for completion. We don't want to do that. But if their intent is to complete the program level certificate where they want a Purdue certificate or a Duke certificate, we will definitely push for that. To your second part of the question, yes, the journeys are personalized as per their intent that we capture, right? I'll give you an example. We ran few experiments where we said, you need a salary hike versus a job switch, right? So that's where, our journeys are also personalized. Hey, if they are looking for a job switch, hey, one of your colleague in your cohort got landed into a data scientist job with Amazon, right? So we really want you to, if you're lagging, push towards that. So yes, we personalize as per that also. Yeah.
So you have your relationship manager who do call and assist or guide in the taking the course. So the information that the relationship manager is actually gathering, do you use that during your segmentation or personalization aspect later?
Correct. So the expectation capture that I said, right now what we are doing is we are doing it post they complete. But what now we are changing is that's not the right touch point to capture. We should capture as soon as he or she has dropped the lead with the sales guy. So that is in works, but we haven't started doing it during the pre-sale cycle. Once they purchase, then we expect. You are right. Then that data will start flowing into our system, and we won't have to bug learner again for getting their outcomes. Yeah.